So in this video, we're going to recap and learn about interest, APR, and APY and how these three terms are connected. So let's start off with the most commonly used one, which is interest. And so let's just go ahead and give a simple definition here. And the most simple basic definition I can give to interest is that interest is extra money. So and whenever you see the word interest, always just think extra money. And so there's really two main types of interest. So you can get interest gained and interest owed. So interest gained is going to be extra money made off investments or high yield savings accounts, while interest owed is going to be extra money you pay to a lender for a loan or credit that has been borrowed. So those are the two main types. Interest gained is obviously the good type, interest owed is the bad type. So let's now see how this connects with APR and APY. So because these three terms are all very connected and they're not exactly the same, but they are all pretty much all the same thing. It's just different words of saying the same thing of this extra money. There's a few minor differences, but we'll get into those right here. We're going to start with APR, which is short for annual percentage rate. That's the actual term, and it's usually commonly just referred to as APR. And what this is commonly used in is loans and credit card plans. So again, this is interest, but on loans and credit card plans, they call it APR. And here's a few examples here. You got the Chase Freedom Flex card, says 15 months, 0% APR. And so that means you won't pay any interest for the first 15 months. Here's another one, no interest on the first 15 months. Here's one, no interest on the first 21 months. And again, that's how they get you to sign up. They want it to look good, but they want you to ideally build that balance up so they can start pulling that interest from you later on. And then this one over here actually has no AP. It doesn't have any information on it. So that means, of course, they want you to have to do some digging to figure out what the APR rate is on that one. Here's some more examples. Again, you got to add here top cards with 0% intro APR for 14 to 18 months. Here's a thing from Bankrate, which says that the average credit retail card APR is 28.93%. You got to add up here 299% intro APR. And then here you got an auto loan. APR is always used when advertised for auto loans, 1.99% APR. Then here's another one, rates as low as 8.9% APR. So again, whenever you see that term APR, you just know what it is. Let's move on now to APY, and APY stands for annual percentage yield. So again, the first two words are the same. And the difference is that this is commonly used in high yield savings accounts and investment accounts. So here's a few examples here. Earn up to 4.75% APY. So again, it's pretty much the same thing. They just use different terminology. Earn 4.4% APY on your cash. Here's a few more odds. Elevate your rate, 5.15% APY. Grow your green, 4.75% on an 11-month certificate, 4.5% on a 17-month certificate. So those are just, again, some examples. These are all investment or high-yield savings accounts that use the terminology of APY. So let's recap that here. And you got APR versus APY. So APR, again, we now know is used for credit and loans primarily, while APY is primarily used for savings and investment accounts. And this is one thing that they actually are both the same on, is that APR is usually based on a monthly period. So if you have a credit card that you have to pay back, or you have an auto loan, you pay that interest or on the APR monthly. So let's say you owe this X amount monthly, and then APY is actually the same, that instead, the difference is that you get paid this monthly, but they'll say you get a monthly extra X amount of APY on your investment account. So they're both the same in that aspect. And this is one more aspect here where they're different, is that APR does not take into account compound interest, and APY does take into account compound interest. So those are the primary two differences. Is APY takes into account compound interest and is for investments. APR is a term used for credit and loans, and it does not take in account compound interest. So that's how APR, APY, and interest are all related, all pretty much the same thing. And now you can hopefully take it easy.